owners of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios. It's the Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. I'm Dave Ramsey, your host. Dr. John Deloney, #1 best-selling author and Ramsey personality, is my co-host today as we answer your questions about your life and your money. It is a free call at 888-825-5225. That's 888-825-5225. Thank you for jumping in, America. We are glad you are here. So, John, we were talking before we got on the air, and I think it's worth just carrying that conversation forward a little bit. There is there seems to be a movement or a stirring, and I don't think it's coordinated. I think it's just observation by several people who are good critical thinkers. There's an observation by people like Michael Easter, who wrote the book Comfort Crisis, by some of our friends over at the Daily Wire, by people like Mike Rowe, our friend Mike Rowe. Seems to be a separation in our culture right now and a recognition of this like never before between the people who are willing to work and sacrifice and have mental or physical calluses. Calluses on your mind because you push through, you persevere through something stressful, on your hands literally because you're doing like real work. Versus quiet quitting, versus I'm going to work from home, which means I don't work much. I'm not really working from home. There's pretty much two categories of people. All the data is starting to show us people that work from home. There are those that work way too much, like become workaholics at home. They don't quit. They get up from dinner, abandon their kids, go back to their screen, and keep working all night. And then there are those that work like 2 hours a day and call that a full-time job and play with their children in the middle of the floor while they're supposed to be working. But there's this group of people that are bent on mediocrity. They're bent on doing as little as possible. They are bent on just getting by. They are bent on trying to, quote, cheat the system and someone else take care of them. And then there's this group of people that are kind of, I guess, old school, that are working, that have work ethic, that are leaning in. And they can be of any age group. It is not a generational thing. I saw somebody today railing on Gen Z. It's not Gen Z. Because I'm meeting boomers that are doing these exact same crap, one way or the other. But in a culture where an unusually large percentage has decided to do little or nothing, if you're willing to do a lot, you're going to stand out.
Oh man,
you got chance for success like never before in our world.
Right. I go all the way back to. I actually, and maybe I'm crazy, or I'm overly optimistic, my wife says sometimes. I think we got here with good intentions. You remember back in the 70s and 80s, there were some studies done that showed, man, these folks who are CEOs and leaders, they've got good self-esteem. And so what we need to give these kids in elementary school is we just need to tell them how great they are all the time. So they have good self-esteem. And what we missed after...
And then the participation trophy was born.
That's right. Everybody's going to feel good about themselves, and then they'll all become like that. And what we missed is, no, they became like that because they failed a lot, and they got hit in the mouth a lot, and they kept persevering, and they had people around them that walked alongside them. Similarly... Man,
I just put a thing on Instagram. Everyone wants to win the Super Bowl, but nobody wants to get tackled by a 350-pound man.
And that's Tom Brady got hit a whole bunch.
Yeah,
right?
It's like
and his lineman got hit way more.
It's like getting hit by a Kia. I mean, really. I mean, It's just. But I want to win the Super Bowl. But I don't want any dirt under my fingernails, and I don't want to hear my joints creak.
I think it's the old Bobby Knight quote. Everyone wants to win the championship. Nobody wants to practice real hard. Yeah. Right? And you don't put that time in. And I think we have a culture of folks who they don't have a picture of what that gap looks like. And now I actually think it sounds old school, but I'm seeing it in the medical science and in the mental health science. It's a new wave of people coming in saying, Oh, our bodies can't exist without stress and tension. It can't exist without having something to push up against. You don't go to the gym and lift a ribbon. You got to put weight on that bar. Otherwise, your body never grows. You don't get stronger. And so I think we have to teach a whole generation of people, here's how to get back up.
You know what part of it is, too? I mean, you used to get dopamine hits from stress and from leaning into something.
Oh, dude.
Lifting,
The
pushing.
anticipation. Yeah,
Now you get dopamine hit from...
everywhere.
From, this magic wand in your hand.
Oh, dude, yes.
You got a magic wand in your hand that gives you dopamine hits all day long that aren't but there's no real stress associated with it. And so there's this atrophying of character that has occurred.
And I used to tell my students, when Martin was marching across the bridge, Dr. King, the assumption was you're going to get killed doing this, and we're going anyway. That's different than the thumb warriors, I call them, like launching their grenades via social media. Like, there's this lack of, hey, dude, if you're going to get in the arena, you're going to get hurt. And that's part of the whole game. You can't sit on the outside of the arena and pretend you participated, right? You got to get in there, and that means you're going to get knocked down.
And if there is no toughness, there is no perseverance. If there is no calluses, there is no perseverance. And if there is no perseverance, there is no success. And then the self-esteem. Not the self-esteem and then.
And what you can't do, Dave, you can't lie to your body. You can tell yourself you're the toughest guy in that room. You can tell yourself, I can do it. Your body knows we're not ready for this. And
you're fluffy.
There's a gap, right? It's like, oh, I could do that. Your body's telling you, I don't think we can, man. I don't think we can.
Don't do that.
And so, man, get some true, real experiences underneath your belt.
So when in doubt, bust up into something.
Yes.
When in doubt, overdo it.
Yes.
When in doubt, activity, not passive.
Right. We have a culture that's overthinking everything. Get out and start doing, man. Get out and start doing and fail.
And quit trying to figure out the macroeconomic Marxist angle on something.
Yes, go get a job, dude.
Yeah, just go work. Just go work.
What's that line your grandma had? I loved.
There's a great place to go when you're broke, to work. You know,
man.
That's just that. But that's old school right there. And here's the thing: it's also new school because really there is no success without it.
Right.
There is no success in your marriage unless you're intentional and you work at it. Doesn't sound very romantic.
Every day.
But you got to, when I got married, I didn't know beans. I've read like 100 marriage books, I think. I started raising kids. I didn't know what I was doing. I started reading parenting books. Without doing it on purpose, without some lifting, without some stress, without some push, which always involves a callus as developing, there is no success. So
there's no strength. There's no growth.
Quit looking for the Amazon Prime for your life.
Take the hard path.
You can push a button and crap shows up on your porch.
Take the hard path.
Okay, that's not how life really works. If you've been trained by this magic wand in your hand to not lean into the strenuous activities, take that thing and drop your heel down on it and crush it and go lean into some strenuous activities. This is where the best parts of life come from. Ooh, that's a good start for the show. Open phones at 888-825-5225. I'm Dave Ramsey. That's Dr. John Deloney. This is The Ramsey Show. We've been doing business at Ramsey for more than 30 years. By now, we're a well-oiled machine, but it wasn't always that way. Yes, we've always had a vision, always had determination, and a drive to help people. But what we didn't have was one central place to access all our numbers so that we could get further ahead or quickly see when we needed to pivot. We were always jumping back and forth between different systems and spreadsheets. So when NetSuite by Oracle helped us wrangle our revenue, inventory, expenses, and more into one place, it was a game changer. And NetSuite's #1 cloud financial system can help your business gain the same visibility because businesses thrive on timely data. And NetSuite's real-time analytics can help your business have immediate access to your numbers daily so you always know where you stand and you can move quickly. So go to netsuite.com/Ramsey today and set up a free product tour. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey. Thank you for joining us, America. This is The Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host. Jake is with us in New York. Hi, Jake. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hey, how's it going, Mr. Ramsey?
Better than I deserve, sir. What's up?
So I'm 23 years old, and I'm wondering what I'm doing right now will help me set my retirement up, at either 40 years old or, if I'm lucky enough, early.
Why do you want to retire at 40?
I don't know, kind of seeing my father who, working every day and, kind of breaking his butt. I was wondering if I could retire from my main job and focus on my own business. I would much rather do that.
Well, let's do that before 40.
Yes, absolutely.
Why don't you just do that, soon? I mean, by the time you're 26 instead of 40. You don't have to be retired to run your own business. Matter of fact, you can't be retired and run your own business. The definition of running your own business is you're running the business, so you're not retired.
And running is the key word there.
By retired, you don't mean retired. You mean quit the job you hate and do the one you love. That's what you meant, right?
In the short sense, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you weren't going to, go fishing 6 days a week.
No.
At 40. That wasn't what you were talking about. You were talking about do something you love instead of a job you hate, which is what your dad did. So do a job you hate for a little while, make as much money as you can with a plan to open your business in the next 4 to 5 years, and then run a business your whole life. I had enough money to quit working by the time I was 40, but I didn't. I work more because I love what I do. I love running this business. I love getting to do this show. I love the things I get to do, and if I don't love them, I change them because I own it. So, that's the game you want to get in, is where you're just leaning into your strengths and you're having fun most days. Some days I get tired and grouchy too, but
No.
But you've never seen that.
No.
Shut up, John. But the yeah, you see what I'm saying, Jake? I mean, so it sounds like you do a job right now just for money, and you don't want to have to do that for the rest of your life.
Correct. So I have my main job, and then I run my other job on the side, which I've been running it for the last about year.
Yeah. So do that for a while, and let's get the job the business that you want to get it up and running in the next 3 to 4 years, and let that be your plan, instead of I'm going to pile up so much money and I'm going to work at something I hate for 20 freaking years. No, I don't want to do that. And no, I'm not going to tell you to do that. I would tell you instead, let's just, make something you love lucrative enough to live on and grow it.
And Jake, this may not be you, man, but I hear this sentiment more and more. I used to hear it from my students, and I'm hearing it more and more and more. The idea of retirement used to be, I want to have enough so that when I quit working, I've got enough to live on, right? And then that became, I want to have all these wild adventures. The definition of retirement keeps moving forward. And now I'm hearing it with young people. I want to get to a spot where I can do nothing. And I will tell you, there's no quicker way for your body to shut down, your relationships to fall apart. You will hate your life if you do nothing. That's not a goal. That's not an objective to get to that place. So I like, Dave, create a life that you want to live, man. Create a life that you want to be involved with. I had a guy on my show call yesterday. It was heartbreaking. It was tough. Amazing guy who quit drinking and is sober for X number of weeks now. And here's what he said. He said, I work out every day now, and I'm running out of ways to kill time. And he was asking me for some other things he could do to help kill time. And I said, dude, your life isn't something you want to kill. It's something to live, right? And so this idea that I'm just gonna get to this place when I'm 40, then I can just do nothing. That's a miserable goal, man. It's a miserable goal.
Yeah, having enough money to be independent.
That's a good word. I like
financially independent and have some autonomy is a good thing. But the goal is not to, sit on the back porch and drink all afternoon. I mean, it's not, this is not, what are you going to do? So I had a friend of mine sold his business. He had grown since he started really young, and he sold his business for multiplied millions of dollars when he was 32. And he, kind of had that goal, like, I want to do nothing. He said, I'm just going to play golf and fish. And so he went fishing all the time. Mm-hmm. And he played golf all the time. And he said, I got so fat, and my wife didn't like me, and I didn't like me, and I didn't even like golf or fishing anymore. And it was two of my favorite things in the world, and I hated them because it's all I did all day long. It was like, if you eat enough lobster, it tastes like soap, right? It's not good anymore. Your favorite food, eat it every day. You'll hate it eventually. And so, what he did is he went back in business and lost his weight and is the happiest he's ever been in his life. He has something to do every day.
He's got a purpose. He's got an adventure in life.
Honestly, bass and Titleist Pro V1s are not, this is not an adventure, except on a limited basis. I mean, it's just not. Now maybe you're a fishing guide. Okay.
Yeah.
But short of that,
the adventure there is,
I'm going to retire and be a person of leisure.
Oh, yeah.
This is what we think of when we think of dysfunctional, zoned out, often drugged up trust fund babies are people of leisure with their seersucker suits sitting on the deck chair of the Titanic. And that's the problem. So that's not what Jake's trying to do, but this is you and I continuing our conversation from the first segment here. And so it just, there's something to be said there's a dignity that comes from impacting things and moving things around. Good question, Jake. Thank you for joining us. Georgie's with us. Georgie is in Phoenix. Hi, Georgie. How are you?
I'm great. How are you guys?
Better than I deserve. What's up?
Of course you are. I want to find out where I should be throwing my money. I'm currently putting more than 15% towards my retirement. And my reason for that is I'm just starting late in saving for retirement. Or should I be putting it at my house, like you always say, and get it paid off sooner?
How old are you?
I am 64.
Okay. And how much do you owe on your home?
About 146.
Mm-hmm.
146,000.
How much cash do you have in non-retirement?
In non-retirement, 42,000.
What do you have in retirement?
38,000.
38,000.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And what do you make?
About 60.
Okay. So our goal should be two-pronged. By the time you're 76 years from now, I want the house paid for and I want a big nest egg, right? We need both of those. Either one of them not done is going to leave you vulnerable. And so the best way I know how to do that is 15% towards retirement and chunk everything else you can get on the house and work as much as you can work. If you can pick up any extra income, even throw it at the house. You'll get this house done. Then we've got even more money because we don't have a house payment anymore to chunk at retirement. And the last couple of years, you could really build up retirement fast. But if we said, okay, 4 years to pay off the house is $40,000 a year.
Yeah.
And that puts you at 68.
True.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's going to involve more work. That's going to involve more income than you have coming in.
Okay. Got it.
And so if you that's the kind of thing I'd love to see for you. It's not like you're going to die if you don't do that. I don't want you to misunderstand. It's not like, oh God, it's all coming. You're in pretty good shape. You're heading in the right direction. You're not out of control. But if you can have zero debt, including your home, going into your golden years, it stabilizes everything because your largest line item in your budget is housing. And when it's all paid off, your largest line item is no longer your largest line item. Ding, ding. So it stabilizes everything. That's where I want you to go. Good question, Georgie. Thank you for joining us. This is The Ramsey Show.
Life is full of firsts. As the first and longest-serving Christian health cost-sharing ministry, CHM has shared medical expenses for its members since 1981. We believe you should have the freedom to focus on your health while being supported by a community of believers, giving you the opportunity to create many more firsts.
Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Hey, guys, if you enjoy this show, you can help us. We would appreciate it since you don't pay anything for it.
Dude, what else?
Leave us a 5-star review. That helps move the needle on the listenership, helps people find us and all that kind of stuff. 1 stars are of no value. If you can't say something nice, don't say anything at all, okay? So
Or say it about another show.
Yeah, just go, trash something else or whatever, if that's your thing. But and also subscribe, click the follow, the subscribe on the whatever you do it, Spotify or Apple or YouTube or wherever it is, and share the show. You can send the links out. You can tell people that this show's on TBN now, that this show is on 680 radio stations. Just share by just simply telling people with your lips and stuff. So if you'll spread the word for us, it makes a lot of difference. Help us.
I'll also say this, Dave, and these are words that I never thought would come out of my mouth.
Uh-oh.
You should follow me and Dave on social media. Me and Dave are TikTok sensations, and we are Instagram.
I'm big on TikTok.
Instagram sensations, so follow us there too.
Yeah, I'm a big deal on TikTok, so just check it out. I have no idea, but that's what they tell me, so who knew? A boomer on TikTok, so there you go. All right, let's go to Mary in Trenton, New Jersey. Hi, Mary. How are you?
Hi, Dave. Hi, Dr. John. It's an honor to be talking to you.
You too. What's up?
So I live in Michigan, but Trenton comes into the equation. So I live in Michigan. My husband and I are in baby step 2 right now. I found you guys back in August, and you've been helping me get through a lot of housework, so I appreciate it. I'm always plugged in to your podcast.
Thank you.
We own a rental property from when we lived in New Jersey. It's near Trenton. And we've been rental property owners, or however you want to call it, for about 18 years. So that makes the upcoming change a little bit more emotional for us. We're done. I know what you would say about having an out-of-state rental property. We're tired of it. It pays the mortgage, but we're just tired of dealing with it. And we do have baby step 2 and 3 to take care of. If we do sell the property, which is the plan right now, it will take care of baby step 2. It will take care of baby step 3, take care of capital gains taxes, fees, and all of that, and leave us with probably $10,000 left over to invest. So I guess my first question is that the right thing to do? And my other question is, because I think I know the answer to the first question, is how do I feel more comfortable with this idea? And after all of that money cycles through baby step 2 and 3, and then being left with so little in the end, it just feels kind of anticlimactic and disappointing.
Well, yes, you've got to do it. There's no question that it's the right thing to do. Because if you pan back and look at these things, the way to make the decision and the way to feel better about it is to go, okay, 10 years from today, I've got 2 options. Keep this thing and whittle my way through this, or dump this thing, which I really don't even like anymore, and make major strides forward. So 10 years from today, which Mary wants to look back on this Mary and be happy with her, So that's going to tell you to sell it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's also simultaneously how you feel better about it, I think, is, okay, this is a season. It's okay to say out loud, I'm emotionally invested in this, and, I'm abandoning a former dream that wasn't as dreamy as I thought it was going to be, called landlording. I thought it was going to be dreamy. 18 years in, it's not much of a dream. It's semi-nightmare, and I'm kind of glad to be out of it. But I kind of am admitting that I was on the wrong boat for a while, and now I'm having to change boats, and saying that out loud stings a little bit, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. But all the while, the grown-up part of you is saying this is wisdom.
Yeah. Like we always looked at it as like, oh, it'll be an investment for the future. And it's
the future's here.
Well, I guess like
here you
we're
are. Here you are, 18 years later, living in the future.
It paid off.
I know.
Hooray!
I know.
Hey, Mary, have you ever not owed anybody anything?
No.
Have you ever had like an air conditioner break or a roof leak and you started laughing?
No.
So
no, never.
You're talking to two guys who are on the other side of that, who both of us have paced around the house unable to breathe because our wives were asleep and we didn't know how we were going to pay our bills. I didn't know how to tell my wife that our net worth was in the negative by hundreds of thousands of dollars. I didn't know how to say those words. And now I can tell you on the other end when our air conditioner busted and we started dying laughing. Not because we're rich or we got money, but we had an emergency fund.
And no debt.
And we didn't owe anybody any money. And so we started laughing, not because we're happy to spend 10 grand, but because, of course, it happens right around Christmas or whatever the thing was. Okay? So it's not me being flippant. It's me saying, what I can tell you on the other side of where you are, peace is worth everything you will go through selling this house.
Yeah. I think more than anything, you're just grieving the thing that, I thought this thing was going to be the answer to all my problems, and now all these 18 years later dealing with it, it's not. It just helps a little. And so it just, it was a disappointment.
Yeah. You got to grieve it, man.
It's not what you thought it was going to be.
I thought I'd have 30 houses in 18 years, right?
Yeah.
I got one, and I don't like it.
And it's not even fun. Yeah. So, yeah, it's time to do it. Be the grown-up. Hold your breath. Hold your nose. Get your work done. Eat your broccoli. And then you'll be healthy and strong. Josh is in Green Bay, Wisconsin. Hey, Josh, what's up?
Hi, Dave. How are you doing?
Better than we deserve. How can we help?
So I just had a question about college versus career. So I had a career beforehand, and then me and my wife decided this last year that I'd go ahead and go back to college for an engineering degree. I'm just kind of second guessing it because it's just we went from such a much larger income down to a single income, and I'm just kind of wondering if maybe I should just go back to working full time at my previous career, or if I should continue with college.
How long is your career going to be? How long are you going to make less money?
It'll be for the full 4 years while I'm in college.
And then on the back end, how much more money are you going to make?
Hopefully around like 20,000 more or so. I don't think it's going to be
okay. When you started this process, you knew every bit of this.
Yeah.
What changed?
I think it's just.
I'll tell you, engineering's hard. Right?
That too.
And there's a bunch of 20-year-old knuckleheads in there that don't know what they're like, and they're complaining about stuff, and you're like, you have no idea about the real world, and it's a drag, and you don't like homework, and you want to play with your kids and do whatever. It sucks.
Right.
And so you want to quit.
Well, I feel like that's part of it, and part of it's just like I kind of have money as a big security blanket for me because
you knew that before you started this.
Didn't have a lot of it around. So,
you knew that before you started this. That doesn't change. So other than engineering's hard, what changed?
I think I just want to have more money saved up in the long run, I suppose. And I thought I'd be a little more comfortable with it than I am like now. But
in two different times when I chose to go back for not just to spend money on a nonsense degree, but with an intentionality for a career on the other side of it, it's worked out exponentially for me. That's all I can tell you. Okay. My personal experience. I've done it twice.
So, what does your wife make?
She makes $75,000 a year.
What did you used to make?
I used to make $70,000.
And what do you make now?
Nothing. I don't make anything. She's
You're not working?
No.
Why?
It was just kind of challenging with all the homework and extra stuff on the side.
Oh, come on.
I got 2 PhDs with a full-time job, brother. No sympathy here. Get a job, too.
Come on. Go work.
You can do it.
And kids work in college all the time, dude.
Don't quit now,
man. You're like a grown-up and stuff. You can still work while you're in college. Be easier for you because you're more mature. Yeah, I got homework. No, get a job, man. and finish your dadgum degree. Plow through. You got this. It's worth it. This is The Ramsey Show. Wow, credit card debt is at an all-time high in history. More credit card debt than any time in history right now. With debt payments and inflation stealing more and more of your paycheck, a lot of people feel like they're drowning and they're scared to death. They don't have enough to take care of your family. If you're ready to say, I've had it, we're ready to help you. Financial Peace University will do it. It's our 9-lesson course that teaches you how to beat debt and build wealth. It's everything you wish you'd learned about how to handle money. Nearly 10 million people have taken Financial Peace University, and they'll tell you that they don't worry about money like they used to. They're in control, and you can be too. So decide you're done with the stressing out. Decide you're done with the losing the money battle. It's just silly. I mean, time to change something. Start Financial Peace University at RamseySolutions.com/FPU. RamseySolutions.com/FPU. Thanks for joining us, America. Eugene, Oregon. Tyler's up. Hey, Tyler, welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hello. How you guys doing?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
Okay, so I'm an electrical contractor, and I have a commercial property. We live in the back portion of it, but I'm upgrading the front for storefront, and I need to build an accessory building because I'm branching out to a lighting store, and I need storage. But I want to pay off my loan ASAP. And I don't know which way, if I should expand the business and try and bring more money or just pay it off and then do it in a year or two. Actually, probably next year, pay the loan off. Or do it this year. That's really the question.
Yeah. So 1 year swing.
Yeah.
Okay. So you pay your loan off. Your loan on what?
The property.
Okay, so the commercial building has a loan.
Yes.
And either you have a stack of money, and that stack of money will either pay that loan off or build the storage. And if you pay the loan off, then you can build the storage next year.
Yes.
Do that. Pay the loan off now. No brainer.
Oh, okay.
You want to know why?
Sure, yes, I would.
Don't do it because I said do it. Do it because you know why. Okay?
Okay.
No risk. When you're running a business and you have little to no risk because you don't have a mortgage anymore, you make different decisions. You're more bold. You're more creative. You're more turned loose into the business. I am much more bold with our business decisions because I don't have any stinking payments anywhere in my life, and none of those decisions are going to be the end of me financially. And so I can reach over there and drop some coin on something and hope it works and do everything smart and wise and try to make it work. But if it doesn't work, it's not the end of me. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense.
And so what you can't really put into numbers is this entrepreneurial freedom and boldness and creativity that happens when you don't have any debt anymore. Because stuff is going to come at us. I mean, we've got inflation coming at us. We've got, pandemic quarantines coming at us. We got balloons coming at us. We got stuff coming at us
Our
everywhere.
pets' heads
right?
are falling off. Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
we got stuff coming at us everywhere. And so, you just have all these threats. These existential threats
And you don't
out
know where
there.
they're coming.
And you don't know when they're coming. What's the next thing going to be?
I guarantee you, if you had polled 1 million Americans, a giant balloon floating across the sky would not have entered anyone's
Not a
next threat.
single person's mind.
Not one.
Not even the conspiracy theories,
Rachel
theorists.
could not have cooked up
Rachel,
a balloon.
Rachel Cruz, the queen of conspiracy theories, would not have entered into the balloon world.
Nope.
So, I mean,
You never know, dude.
there's always an existential threat. I mean, and if not, just watch the news; they'll give you one. And so, the thing is, and the truth is, there's outside variables coming at you all the time in business, and they do.
Somebody opens up a shop right across the street, or
They do create risk. And so, and all of a sudden you're going, I'm really glad I don't have any payments. And that means I can go do this, and I can counterpunch this way, and I can fight this one to the death. And I can choose to walk away from that other one. And you got all kinds of stuff here. It changes the way you walk, changes your body language. It's hard for me to describe, but I've been working with small business leaders for 25 years, teaching people this, and I see it all the time. I see their world expand and grow when they get rid of the weight that they didn't even know was there.
And my guess is you probably build a different shop a year from now. You don't have any payments.
Let me tell you this, for sure, if you build anything with debt or you build it with cash, you will build different.
That's right.
100%. Because that cash is like real money. And that debt is like, it's somebody else's money. It's like monopoly money. You do not emotionally pay attention with borrowed money like you do when it's your freaking money.
That's right.
Even if you guys just buying a car out there just for your house, right? It's not a business decision. We're going to go buy a car. And when you pay cash, you're like, we're studying this puppy. I'm going to read every article on it. And, I don't know, the green ones don't have good resale, and
This one's got it for $48 cheaper. I'm going to go to that car.
Yeah. Right. And when you're like, you're borrowing money to do it, you're like, yeah, I'll just sign right here. I'm out of here. I gotta go to Chick-fil-A. I'm out of here. It's like, Connie's with us. Connie is in Phoenix. Hi, Connie. How are you?
Doing great today, guys. Thanks for taking my call. Appreciate it.
Sure. What's up?
I was in a vehicle accident on January 2nd, hit and run. Vehicle was totaled.
You okay?
I find myself without a vehicle. Yeah, nothing time won't heal.
Wow, I'm sorry.
Some stitches in the eye.
Whoa, that's a real wreck.
Some neck pain, but nothing that time won't heal. I'll be fine.
Wow, so, I'm sorry. That's scary as crap.
But yeah, a little bit. But now I have to buy a new vehicle. Obviously, insurance isn't going to give me near what the vehicle is worth.
No, they are.
I just
the vehicle is worth exactly what they're going to give you. That's what the policy says.
We can. Maybe my idea what the vehicle's worth.
No,
anyway.
your idea of vehicle worth. I'm not talking about that. The market value of the vehicle, they are legally bound to give you the money for it.
Right.
And which means you can go buy another vehicle exactly like you had for that amount of money.
And I guess that's where the question is, and I need help not to do something emotionally.
You want to upgrade from the wreck.
Well, I don't know if we need a truck anymore. And yes, my son just bought a new Cadillac CTS, and then I'm looking at the version of the CTS-V, not a new one, a used one. But I don't know if that's too much money to spend on a car, even if I have the money.
Do you have the money?
I would be close. Depending on what they give me, the settlement on the truck's not done yet.
Okay, rule number one is if you don't have the money, end of discussion. You don't buy it. It's a stupid car. So you either got the money or you don't buy the car. Number one. Number two is it too much car? A good rule of thumb is cars and things with wheels and motors of any kind go down in value always. And so things with wheels and motors that you have in your possession, in your name, should not total up more than half your annual income. Otherwise, you have too much invested in things that go down in value. So what's the Cadillac cost?
$67.
Okay, what do you make?
$135.
Household income?
Add another 22, so 157.
157. What's Mama's car worth?
Well, Mama doesn't have a car. There's a 1970 Camaro sitting in the garage, 3/4 of the way restored. So it's
your wife doesn't drive a car.
No, we got by with the truck. The truck was our only running vehicle. That I have a company car that we can use.
So the Camaro's worth what?
In its present state, probably 15.
Okay, so you can afford the 67 if you got the cash. But if you don't have the cash, you can't do it. No upgrades due to Rex that put you into debt. Nope.
And don't say things like, it's going to make me make an emotional decision. You're going to choose that. That's a choice. Don't make that choice.
Yeah, you've already said it out loud, so it's no longer emotional. Now it's intellectual.
That's right. Dave Byrne.
This is The Ramsey Show.
Hey, it's Dr. John Deloney. If you love the show and want a deeper dive on your money journey, we have a weekly newsletter that gives you trending and helpful articles and tips on following the Ramsey way. Just go to RamseySolutions.com today to sign up for our newsletter. Again, that's RamseySolutions.com to sign up for our weekly newsletter.
From the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Dr. John Deloney, #1 best-selling author, Ramsey personality, and host of the Dr. John Deloney Show, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Elizabeth starts us off in New Jersey this hour. Hi, Elizabeth. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Thank you, Mr. Ramsey, for having me. I have a question. I'm currently in a situation to where I need to replace a hot water heater. I have $1,000 saved in my emergency fund, and I'm on baby step 2. And I know you advise people not to take advantage of credit, but I'm in a stuck situation where I don't have the financial resources to purchase a new one without maybe utilizing one of the finance options at my local provider.
How much is the hot water heater?
$2,823.17 is the least expensive I was able to find. I've contacted 7 different plumbing services, and each one was much more than that. And one of my local big box stores offered me that at that rate and at a 0%. And I have $1,000 to contribute, but I don't have the other $2,000 to put towards it.
What happened to the hot water heater?
It died. It's been in the house we recently acquired the house last year, and the hot water heater is from 2004.
Okay, there's a lot of things that can happen with a hot water heater. This is a tankless or a tank hot water heater?
It is a tiny tanked hot water heater. When the plumbers came out, they expressed I needed to replace it because it was leaking, and it wasn't repairable.
It's leaking.
Yes, sir. It left a small pond on the kitchen floor.
Okay. Wow, I haven't apparently been hot water shopping in a while. I had no idea it was $2,800 to put in a hot water heater. That just sounds outrageous to me.
I agree. In truth, it was the least expensive one that I was able to obtain a quote from.
I was just trying to. I just put one in, and it was somewhere similar.
Okay.
It was $2,000 something. It was way more expensive than I thought it was going to be. I don't remember being $2,800, but it was real expensive.
I just haven't bought one in a while. I guess that's my thing. Okay. Wow. Okay. What do you make a year?
I make about $98,000.
Mm-hmm. And you have $1,000.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what else do you have? What other things do you have?
I have student loan payments, which are $995.55 a month.
They're on hold.
I have. I'm still paying them, sir, because
I know, but you have a hot water heater that's out, so it's on hold.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I have a car payment, which my car payment is $289 a month, and I'm down. I only owe $1176 on that, so it'll be paid off soon. And we have a few other credit card debts, which I'm working on paying off, and I don't use credit at all, so that's why I'm in a predicament that I'm concerned as to how to manage the situation.
Yeah, I get that. So what is your paycheck? How often do you get a paycheck, and how much is it?
Biweekly, and I make about $2,000 every 2 weeks. That's what I take home.
That's $48,000 a year.
I'm not even,
How do you get $48,000 a year out of 90?
hold on, let me double check. I was mistaken. My paycheck is about, I guess it's more than that because I do make $98,000 on paper, but and I have nothing coming out of my paycheck except for my insurances, my taxes, and
yeah. So your paycheck is more like $4,000 every 2 weeks.
Yes, sir, probably.
Yeah. Okay. And so when you get the next paycheck, buy the hot water heater.
Okay.
Don't pay student loans. Put it on hardship. I mean, drop it over there in the Biden plan. Don't pay it for right now. You can pick it up and pay it. It's not due till May. Right?
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is just rearrange your budget for a month and a half or 2 months. And, you know, you're going to have to push something and then catch it back up and pay cash for it. Okay. I think you've got the cash flow to buy this in the next check. And maybe just food. Right?
Okay.
I don't know. I mean, I can't see your numbers right now, but I mean,
we have credit card debts, which, like I said, I'm paying all of.
Well, don't pay them right now. Don't pay them for a month. Pay them late for a month.
Okay.
It's 1 month, or pay them at the end of the month instead of the beginning of the month,
or only pay the very, very bare minimums on all of them. And take that extra because you're trying to keep baby step 2 going and deal with this other thing.
Yeah, you gotta push everything on pause as far as baby steps go, and you got to push everything you can push and pay cash for this, and then get back and re-engage again. But I've had to do that. I've had to shuffle and just delay something to be able to cover this, and I think you can cover it inside of a couple of weeks here. But something else that you thought was absolutely vital is going to wait 2 more weeks. And it's not absolutely vital, other than food. I mean, keep your lights on and your food, and that's about it. But even if you paid your rent on the 15th instead of on the 1st, as an example, whoop-de-doop-de for this month, and then get back in the saddle and get caught right back up. And you know, it may take another month to get things back even again. And then after that, then push play again and start your debt snowball. But I think you've got enough money coming in with your income because you only need $1,800. And good for you for having shopped it and gotten the best price. And just ask them what their payment terms are. I mean, will they bill you at the end of the month if they put it in? Or do they want it all up front? Or do they want $1,000 now and $1,800 at the end of the month or whatever? Not credit, just a billing. There's a difference. And just see what their payment terms are. There may be some things like that. Because all we're looking for here is a little bit of movement, a little bit of oomph to get your cash flow flowing. That's all we're after here.
So, Dave, you've done this way longer than me. It sounds like if you don't shut that door all the way, if you don't take, I can just go borrow this off the table, that you're going to end up back in the mess.
Yeah, you have to take borrowing money off the table the rest of your life. I just took it off the table. I don't borrow money, so I've always had to do what we're doing. Is I got to figure it out.
I got to figure it out because that's not
I got to not do it. And not doing hot water is not a fun thing. Right. So, especially in freaking New Jersey this time of year. Yeah. Good Lord. In Tennessee this time of year, I don't want to be without hot water. But everybody's talking about the benefits of cold showers, but this is not the time to do it, right? So, no, thank you. Not as a mandatory item.
It works for me.
That needs to be a choice.
Not for my wife. But I do, like, you got to close the door. Like, I've got to take that off the table. Otherwise, you're going to have a thing after a thing after a thing. It's always going to be a thing. Always.
Yeah. So I'm even wondering where the hot water heater leaked.
Yeah.
Did it leak around the element and the element is bad and they're trying to, I'm going to buy an element and seal that puppy if that's it, and that's a couple $100.
You give me 30 more days or 60 more days.
Well, or give me a year. Yeah. But now if the actual tank broke, there's no fixing that. Okay. So there you go. This is the Ramsey Show. Look, I love real estate, and I want you to have a house, but I don't want a house to have you. That's why you need to get in touch with Churchill Mortgage to make sure you do this right. These guys are awesome. They'll help you get on a smarter mortgage plan because they're committed to doing what's right for you. That means they check in every year with free consultations to help you stay on the right plan. They show you how to save money and interest so you can build wealth faster. They walk you through the total cost of your loan so you can make the best choice. Basically, they care. That's why we call them Ramsey Trusted. You can achieve debt-free home ownership, and Churchill is here to help. Go to their site, churchillmortgage.com/Ramsey, to start your approval or get more information. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Open phones as we talk about your life and your money. It's a free call at 888-825-5225. Our question of the day comes from Tony in the Ramsey Baby Steps community. John, you want to read it?
Yeah, you bet. Today's question is from Tony. It says, I'm having a hard time getting my wife on board. We have no consumer debt, just our house. Our emergency fund is fully funded for a year. We make around $311,000 a year before taxes. I've cut up my credit cards, but my wife doesn't want to cut hers up. She feels like she needs them needs to have them for an emergency. What can I do to get her on board and not argue about cutting her cards up? So I'm looking at this. This is not an issue of, this is not a math problem. This is not a rational approach problem. Over the years, how have you seen this play out, Dave?
Well, I mean, the answer to your question is, how do I get her on board, is complicated, but her actual statement is absolute horse crap.
It's incorrect.
Yeah. I mean, that's just bull. You don't need a credit card for an emergency. You make $311,000, you have a fully funded emergency fund and no debt. That's just stupid.
You have a double emergency fund.
Now, but that's not exactly how you convert her, okay? We wouldn't go at it that way, okay?
Hey, honey, you're stupid.
Hey, you're just dumb. No, that's ridiculous. That one never worked for me. So let's try a different tack. So the thing is this. I always, anytime I'm trying to get anyone, spouse included, on board with something, I generally will pan back and look further into the future. Instead of like this week, I'm thinking about credit cards, I'm thinking about what are the best things that are in our life, what has to be true about our life that gives us, or if these things were true about our life, that give us the best probability of being prosperous in our marriage and prosperous financially. So 20 years from today, if we're using credit cards as our emergency backstop, is that the most likely way that we become prosperous? Or if we got rid of them, is that the most likely way that we become prosperous? And so then what that does is it takes your hands off the wheel of the moment, the anxiety in the moment. Because what's happened here is she remembers being broke. Mm. And so I can tell you 30 years ago, we filed bankruptcy, had our water cut off, our electricity cut off, almost lost our home, had a brand new baby and a toddler. And if I move towards a purchase of some kind 30 years later, without my wife being involved and agreeing that the idea is within our budget and it's not going to destroy us, then that pattern of behavior, that body language that I do when I do that, activates her memory.
Off, huh? Yeah.
It's a trauma response.
Yeah, that's right.
She has a trauma response to it. And so she'll go, she'll act like we have absolutely no money and we have hundreds of millions of dollars.
Right.
It's like, oh, God, he's doing doing it again. Right. You know, it's like, whoa. We were buying a box of gum here. Right. It's Costco. Well, we don't need that much gum. It's like, holy crap. You know, it's like, you're out of control. And it's like, she doesn't yell like that, but her body does. I can watch her do that. Yeah. And those eyes get that fire in them, you know? And all that is she just is that it activates that terror down inside of her that she felt when she was a young mom and didn't know if her kids are going to have food.
Right.
And so that's why your wife's not cutting up her car. It's not because of present day circumstances, but because she remembers. Am I right?
Yes. And I've also seen the more on my show here is there's a sense that, and it's so far it's been uniquely women, but it may go with men too. This idea that I need to hang on to something in case he leaves. I'm going to hang on to some sort of something so I'm not hung out to dry here.
It's my last vestige of independence.
That's right. And so I would ask Tony, something about their dynamic at the end of the day says she doesn't feel safe.
Ooh.
Could it be that she doesn't feel safe what you're talking about because of past? She remembers being broke. Yeah. She doesn't feel safe because there's something about you, husband, who's making all this.
A little different definition of an emergency.
Yeah, like I just need an escape hatch in case this thing goes south.
Yeah.
And so if everything's safe around the board, I love the idea of, hey, would you commit to 30 days of practicing? Can we put these in a drawer somewhere over here?
Well, let's think about what gets us to this place we want to be 10 years from now.
Yeah.
And then what are those activities? And then is there a way we can let's
practice
practice into that and put them in the drawer, freeze them in the garage, freeze them in a block of ice, use only debit cards. And then you go, okay, if we had an emergency, what could we rely on? And in the sense of being independent or safe, like, you know, after we had already were millionaires again years later, Sharon's daddy sent her some money. And it wasn't a lot. I mean, $20,000 or something, whatever. It was a nice gift. I mean, he sent all his kids like some money, right? It wasn't life changing, but it was just a little pile of money. And she's like, well, what do we do with this? And I'm like, well, let's just open a mutual fund in your name. And so it's got her name on it and my name,
right?
But her name's first.
And that there's something,
and it's like that's her mutual fund in air quotes,
right?
That we own,
right?
That her daddy gave us, you know, and very nice little gift, and it's grown. That's many years ago. It's turned into some money, you know, over time. But to this day, if you go into my file drawer, it's like there's a little tab, Sharon's mutual fund, you know, and so there's this sense of that. And it's not that we separated our finances, or not that I was worried about the legality of it, or not that she was. There's none of that. It was more of an emotional, this is yours, thing, and it again relaxed that traumatized place in her spirit that was legitimately I mean, I'm not making fun of her. She had every right to be that way. And so our emergency fund now has an emergency fund for that reason.
I always want to go back to that question. And it's becoming more and more of a question I ask myself and my wife and my kid in my community. If you don't feel safe, none of these things I'm going to teach you are going to matter because your body's going to be off trying to make sure you don't die in whatever weird way it's trying to do that. So how can I create safety? And there is a point when you can't hear it. You're choosing not to hear that you're safe. Fine. I can't do anything about that. But man, is there a way, Tony?
Yeah. So a couple of things here. One is look for the safety. 2 is look long term. And then 3 is develop some steps of practice that can cause her intellect to ride into her emotions. That you live. Okay, we're living without this. Oh, we're living without it. Oh, we can live without it. Oh, we're okay without it.
And this word has been abused in our culture, but that, Dave, is mindfulness. That is, all of a sudden she gets a little bit, her heart starts beating a little bit faster. I need that credit card. Oh, no, I don't. Right? That's just having that feeling, thinking about it, and then letting it pass. Because I've got a debit card in my wallet with a year's worth of salary in it. We're good.
Yeah, I mean, I got a debit. My debit card will do everything your credit card will do.
Times probably 2 or 3, right? You're good.
I mean, because there's money in there,
right?
And so I can go just buy
my
ridiculous something if subject to the daily limitations on the stupid thing or whatever.
Yeah, maybe go get her 2 debit cards from 2 different banks, and it's got each one of them's got X number of $1,000 in it, and who knows?
Yeah. And that's not to be touched. You know, right. These are debit cards we don't use because they're tied to the emergency fund.
Emergencies, all right.
And so they have the exact same power that if you wanted to drop $25,000 into credit card debt due to an emergency. Instead, we have $25,000 in this account that's never going to be touched, and the debit card's in your wallet.
Right.
How is that different mechanically? It's not.
Right.
It's actually better.
Yeah.
So yeah, you've got to offset it, and but here, I will tell you, Tony, that I run into a lot of marriages too, and this falls under the heading of feeling safe or being safe, including mine. In the early days, where she doesn't feel like she has an equal vote at the budget committee meeting, and so she needs to hold this in case you go crazy because her vote doesn't count. And so it took a while for Sharon and I to get to where Sharon really felt her vote was equal to mine on financial decisions and on the budget committee meeting monthly. We're going to spend money on this because you want to and I don't want to. Nope. Till we come into agreement, we're not doing it. This is the Ramsey Show. If you're like most people, your home is your most valuable asset. And when you want to make improvements, it can feel like everything costs too much or takes too long. But something as simple as custom window coverings from Blinds.com can completely change your space and add value to your home. We've recommended Blinds.com for over a decade, so you know you can trust them. From blinds, drapes, and shutters to motorized shades, they make it easy and affordable to upgrade your entire home, and their team is ready to help with everything from design consultation to measuring and installation. Plus, there are never any misleading quotes or hidden fees. Everything's backed by their 100% satisfaction guarantee, and shipping is always free. See why Blinds.com is the #1 online retailer of custom window coverings. Visit Blinds.com to save up to 40% off everything site-wide. Go to Blinds.com for more information. Entirely too much fun for talk radio. This is the Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Dave Ramsey, your host, in the lobby of Ramsey Solutions, which, by the way, you ought to come by and visit us when you're in the Franklin, Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee area. It's a free visit, and you can get to experience all of the Ramsey Solutions things here, including free coffee and homemade cookies. Yeah, and the debt-free screams happen right here on the debt-free stage every day. Charles and Emily are here. Welcome, guys.
Hey, how's it going?
Better than I deserve. Good to have you. Where do you live?
Dalton, Georgia.
Oh, just down the road. Very
Yes, sir.
good. Very cool. Welcome. All right. How much debt have you two paid off?
About $97,000, sir.
All right.
Whoa.
And your range, how long did this take you?
About 2 years and 10 months or 34 months.
Got it. Okay. And your range of income in that 34 months?
Started out about $36,000, and we've ended now at $105,000.
Whoa. What do y'all do for a living?
Well, she's a chemist, and I'm a BI engineer. So now she's a stay-at-home mom, so now it's just on me.
Okay. And BI?
Yeah, business intelligence.
Oh, thank you. Okay.
Dude,
apparently I didn't have any, so there you go. Okay.
The way I filled that acronym in my head was not appropriate. So good. I'm glad business intelligence.
Well,
Excellent.
obviously you or I neither had one, so there we go. Now we have him to help us. All right, $97,000. What kind of debt?
Our mortgage. So we paid off our house.
Whoa!
Yeah. So completely debt-free now.
Looking at weird people. I love it. I love it. What's this house worth?
Now it's about $180,000. We bought it a lot cheaper than that, about $120,000.
So how long have you guys been married?
2.5 years.
2.5 years, yeah.
Oh, so you started this before?
Yeah. So
I bought it right before we got engaged. We were already planning on getting married.
Mm-hmm.
So I bought a house that I was comfortable with by myself, but that would be a great house for us to start a family in.
Yeah. And so he said, okay, let's do that. And you get married, and then you dump both incomes on it.
Yeah.
And knock it out really, really fast. You had no other debt?
No, not besides that.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Emily, I'm assuming your chemistry job was carrying the load, and then you finally got off the couch, Charles.
Well, kinda. When we got married, the day we came back from our honeymoon, she lost her job, so it was actually just me carrying the weight. But a couple months later, she was able to find another job. We did that for I don't know, almost 9 months, probably
9-10 months, something like that.
And then we had our son, Jamie.
Way to go, guys.
Awesome.
Very cool. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So what put you on this Ramsey track, getting your house paid off?
So my parents have been following Dave Ramsey for many years before this. They paid off their house sometime before, and
so you're a financial peace baby.
I am. And then Emily, her parents have always been fairly well with money, and then we got together and we just said, we need to pay off this house. Let's get it done and change our family tree.
Love it. Love it. Way to go. So they all got to be proud of you.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. All right. I wonder if that's the expectation.
A little bit of both. There's expectation of, being wise with their money, but also they know you have to be on your own path. So.
Yeah, and being content. I mean, you didn't go buy a $500,000 house.
Oh, no. We bought well within our means.
And something you could knock out. How old are you two?
I'm 25. She's 26.
I'll be 27 Saturday.
Oh, 27, yeah.
Oh, happy birthday. Yeah, good.
He was trying to help you out, Emily.
Yeah. She's a little nervous.
So you're telling me you're not even 30 yet, and y'all have a paid-off house?
Yes, sir.
That's unbelievable.
So weird. So awesome. So proud of you. Very, very well done. Okay, people listening are going, hey, I don't know. I mean, how do you do it? What do you tell people the key is?
Diligence. I think that is the biggest key. If you can continue to pay off every month, seeing those big numbers go towards debt, even though you want to use it for anything. You travel, whatever, you have to use it to pay off the debt. And if you do that, you'll get it paid off.
You throw the big numbers at it.
Yeah, throw the big numbers at it. Even though you really want to spend it, you have to be diligent and say, we got to use this for debt. And, it's a lot of money.
I want to ask you this question, and it's not meant to shame anybody listening or anybody who's made their choices, okay? I'm always fascinated by folks who chose $120, did you say $130,000 house?
Yeah.
I guarantee
that now is worth $180. Yeah.
You qualified for a $300,000 house, but you said this is enough for us.
Yeah.
How'd you land there? How'd you not get out of school and say, I'm a freaking chemist, I can do what I want, and I'm marrying a BI engineer, a big, interesting engineer, and I'm going to, how'd y'all decide on that?
Honestly, over the years, my parents have lived in 3 homes since they've been married, and they made gradual steps as they had a small house when they were married, then they moved to a slightly larger house when they had us, and then a slightly larger house when they had my 3rd sibling. And so I figured, hey, that's a great way to not be in a lot of debt and just slowly make our way up as
so
we pay off the
contentment
house.
is a family value.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
But it's very common for 25-year-olds to come running out the gate and want to live in the same house that mom and dad live in right now after 20 or 30 years. And that self-discipline's incredible. It's going to set you up over the long term in a pretty amazing way.
Yeah, that's an emotional maturity that's very, very cool to watch. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're gonna be so wealthy. I mean, unbelievable. You're making $100,000. She's a full-time mom. You got a paid-for house, and you're 25 freaking years old. Oh my God.
You're gonna miss so many fun fights that me and Dave got to have.
Yeah. Well, now we gotta figure out what to do with the money and use it for God's to further His kingdom.
Yeah, for sure. So what's your first big thing you want to do with money now that you're out of dad house and everything?
We're planning to go on a trip to Switzerland and maybe potentially Israel. So that will be a pretty expensive little vacation to go on.
That is a great run. Both of those are great trips. I highly suggest both of them. I've done them both. And I'll go back to Switzerland. And I'll go back to Israel someday. But we've been there 3 times. But Switzerland's a great trip. Yes, do it. Yeah. That's awesome, man. Way to go. You live like nobody else later. You get to travel like nobody else. I like it.
Yes, sir.
Very cool. Good for y'all. Well done. And you brought the baby along. Yes. Name and age?
Jamie, he is about 4 months.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. Well, we may scare him with a debt-free screen.
That's okay. Maybe he'll join us.
Not voluntarily, I'll tell you. Okay, good. Way to go, you guys. Hey, we got the Live and Give bundle for you. That includes the Total Money Makeover book. It includes the Baby Steps Millionaires book, which you are well on your way to being. And, of course, Financial Peace University membership. And so use those, give them away. Either one, it is the Live and Give bundle. Our way of saying thank you for coming all the way up here from Dalton, Georgia, to do your debt-free scream. Charles and Emily and Jamie, debt-free, house and everything, at 25 freaking years old. So any of you whiners out there, we just put this up there for you, just to show you that this can be done. You guys are mic dropping. This is awesome. Very, very proud of you. $97,000 paid off, house and everything, 34 months, making $36,000 up to 105. Count it down. Right. Let's hear a debt-free scream.
3, 2, 1. We're debt-free!
Yeah! This is how it's done. Man, I love it. Well done, you two. Very well done. So that's a second generationer there.
Yes, and I'm just laughing. Like, it's the exact opposite of what I did, Dave. I had some debt coming out of college, and I drove a little tiny Tercel Easy hatchback. It was just like a human roller skate. And I thought, I need the biggest truck I can possibly buy. I got my first job making good money, and I ended up that year more in debt than when I started. And I had to buy the biggest this, then I just did the exact opposite. And I just think, it took me a decade to dig out of that hole.
That they never made.
That they never made.
Because of contentment.
They were just...
Contentment as a family value.
Man, amazing.
And lack of hours on Instagram adds to contentment. I'll just tell you. You're not watching other people's highlight reels of a life that they don't really have.
Right.
And
having other buddies who celebrate you and aren't always hassling you about, are you driving that? Or like, no, like, he's just got different values, or he's got different dreams, or whatever.
Yeah, he's going to be rich.
Yeah. It's amazing, guys.
Wow, way to go. Very cool. Great job, you guys. You're heroes. Very, very proud of you. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality. You can join him daily, weekly on the Dr. John Deloney Show as a podcast. Be sure and check it out. It's unbelievably popular. He's my co-host today here on The Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, is my co-host today. Thank you for joining us, America. This is The Ramsey Show. Paying off debt is smart. Saving and investing is what you can do when you don't have any payments, and that's smart. There's one key to winning with money that people overlook all the time, though, and that's protecting your finances from catastrophes, emergencies. This is where insurance comes to play. Now, there are 10 kinds of insurance coverage that you might need based on what your life looks like today. And we've built a tool called the Coverage Checkup to show you which types you need to add, drop, or adjust. And we'll even rank your coverage list by importance, email it to you, and connect you with Ramsey trusted insurance providers so you can get your plan in place. Seriously, it could be the most important 5 minutes you spend today. It's completely free. Visit RamseySolutions.com/checkup. That's RamseySolutions.com/checkup. Don't let an emergency sneak up on you because you didn't do your checkup. Do you see what I did there? All right, Libby is with us. Libby's in Austin, Texas. Hi, Libby. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
I have an inheritance question for you today.
Okay.
My husband and I are a military family in baby step 6. should we use the inheritance money we've recently received plus our emergency fund to pay off our 15-year 2.5% mortgage, or save it towards our next home? The military is going to move us across the country this fall.
Doesn't matter. Between now and fall, you're not going to make any money on the money anyway. You can park it in your house by paying it off, or you can park it in a savings account. Neither one are going to pay you anything. And if you move in the fall and you sell your house and you paid off the house, you get the money out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you move in the fall and you didn't pay off your house, you get the money out of the house, and when you sell it, and you'll take all the money from savings and buy the next house, right?
Right.
The trick is, for sure, pay cash for the next one.
Okay, that part might be a little bit hard because we'll use up all of our funds. We would have to build back up, so we'd have to rent where we go.
I'm sorry. Why would you use up all of wait a minute. You have enough to pay off your current home if you were to stay there, but you're not staying there.
Correct.
What's your current home worth?
About $300,000.
Okay. Where are you moving?
Moving to Seattle.
Okay. Yeah, $200,000 a little tougher there than Austin, Texas, but you did it in Austin, Texas. It's not substantially different than Seattle. So if you could live in a $200,000 house in Austin, I'm saying you probably could live in one in Seattle.
Okay. That makes sense.
So I'm just saying you should end up in a paid-for house on the other end. That's the plan. Thanks for your service. We appreciate you guys loading up the stuff and moving around to make sure our country's protected. Thank you for doing all that.
So, Dave, I'm going to ask a question as though I was a listener to the show because it just popped into my head. Is there a length of time before I park it in my house? Or let me ask it this way. I would be concerned the value of my house goes down between now and X. And
your house value is not affected by your mortgage.
But if I pay, okay, that's fair. Yeah, you're right.
So paying it off doesn't cause it to go down or up.
Gotcha.
It just goes up or down. And so if it goes down, you just have less money when you sell it out of equity, or you have less money because you paid it off out of equity.
But you're still getting back that money you just put in it.
Either one, yeah. You'll get it all back, and then it's just a matter of maybe some of your value increase, your appreciation is going to go backward, but I don't think it will. It might go back a little, but I don't think it's going to be that big a deal. Zach's in San Francisco. Hey, Zach, what's up?
Hi. I'm in baby step 3B with my wife, and with the stock market down, we're wondering if we should slow down baby step 3B and invest a little bit more, or if we should continue on at the same rate that we've been saving.
How much are you putting in of your income into retirement?
Well, no, it's about 8 or 9%.
Okay. All right. And so you want to invest more into your retirement rather than save more towards your house?
Right. Pushing it more up towards 15% versus saving the 8 or 9%.
Okay. So you're going to delay buying your home in order to do this?
So it wouldn't be delaying buying the home so much as not having as big a down payment. We already have what our goal is over 50% of our down payment. It would just be whether we have 55% or 65%.
I see. Okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Here's the thing. It's within the guidelines of what we teach. What I don't ever want to encourage too much is let's say that you were already putting 15% into your retirement and you said, hey, I want to bump that up to 20. And in other words, violate what we teach, put more in than we would tell you to do because the market. Now you're pushing to time the market. Now, so timing the market, I love that you're a contrarian. You're going to always make money doing that. But timing the market and saying, I want to buy while it's down. I want to buy when it's down. That makes you want to sell when it's up. And no, we're not doing any of that. We're just going to buy and keep, 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 buy and keep. 15% of your income in baby step 4, regardless of the market's up or down, goes into retirement when you're at baby step 4. If you want to do that whole 15%, put a little less down on your house, that's okay. That's within the guidelines. But avoid this chasing returns, it's called in the research. People who chase returns by trying to figure out and time the market very seldom do as well as those of us that just constantly invest. So, again, what you're doing is under the constantly invest headline, so we're going to go with it. But the reason you're asking the question, I'm not going to go with, which is timing the market. Don't try to time the market. That's always a bad place to go. That makes sense? Hope it does. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Ethan is in Michigan. Hi, Ethan. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure. What's up?
So I am in baby step 1. I just completed it. I only have about $7,000 in debt that should be paid off mid-July. And my question is, I'm thinking about buying a home in the next 2 to 3 years.
Good.
But I don't know where closing costs fit in, if I should combine them with my down payment or they should be separate.
So you're talking about the total, like you're going to buy a $100,000 house and it's going to have X number of there's no such thing as a $100,000 house anymore. A $200,000 house and there's going to be some closing costs associated with it?
Yes.
Yeah. So your closing costs are just part of your down payment.
Yeah, it's a whole picture.
It all falls in the same bucket, like you said, Ethan. So yeah, it's just, so when you're working on your baby step 3B, you probably heard us talk about, we're talking about with the last caller, which means you're out of debt, you have your emergency fund of 3 to 6 months of expenses in place. Then that's when you start saving for your down payment, maybe before you start retirement. In the last caller's case, he was putting in 8% towards retirement, was going to kick it on up to 15% and save a little less. But anyway, that's the point at which you're saving for your down payment. That's also the point, the same bucket that you're going to take that money out of to cover closing costs and down payment. Does that make sense?
Yes. How would I calculate it? I've seen so many videos on different ways to calculate it, but I hear I find it really hard to calculate how much I should save.
All you can, and quit watching those videos.
They're going to make you crazy.
Yeah, because a bunch of them have an agenda and they're trying to push something, or they're trying to push some weird crap that's flying around the internet. So you're better off just to sit down with a good real estate agent. Go to Ramsey when you're ready, RamseySolutions.com. Click on ELP for real estate. It's Ramsey trusted people, the people that are absolute pros that do a ton of deals. And they can sit down and start telling you how closing costs will work. What you're going to want to look for is a conventional mortgage. FHA and VA are both more expensive interest rate and more expensive fees. So your cheapest loan is a conventional, a Fannie Mae loan. And you want to save up as much as you can save up there. And then a good real estate agent can walk you through what your actual closing costs are going to be. And you really don't, I really would not use YouTube for my source on that. And I sure as crap wouldn't use TikTok for my source on that. So be careful with these videos. Now get with a good real estate pro and they can walk you right through it. It's really not rocket surgery. You can figure it out. You'll be able to do it. This is The Ramsey Show. Dave here. You can find all of our shows with the Ramsey Network app on your smartphone. It's the only place to listen to the entire back catalog of episodes. Download the Ramsey Network app in your favorite app store today. From the headquarters of Ramsey Solutions, broadcasting from the Pods Moving and Storage Studios, it's The Ramsey Show, where we help people build wealth, do work that they love, and create actual amazing relationships. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality and host of the Dr. John Deloney Show, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. David is in Jefferson, New Jersey. Hi, David. Welcome to The Ramsey Show.
Hello, gentlemen. How are you today?
Better than we deserve, sir. How may we help?
All right. Well, I'm 64. My wife and I just started. I ordered the Financial Peace University at your Christmas special. Thank you very much. And we started on that in January, and we basically have been tearing into our debt.
Good.
We basically paid off around $50,000 worth. And
wait a minute, you paid off $50,000 in 1 month?
No, we started in January. We started paying in October, but we went to financial peace started in January.
And you paid off $50,000.
Yeah, since October.
Wow.
I sold a boat. I sold it. If it wasn't nailed down, it was going out the door.
Wow.
That's awesome, David.
Yeah. Well, my problem is I got $1,200 left on one credit card, which if I have a good week of side hustles, I'm going to pay that off this week. And for the first time in my life, I'll not have a credit card bill whatsoever.
Wow.
Way to go, man.
Yeah, you got it, buddy. Watching these things go to zero has just been a thrill for me and my wife.
Good for you.
My problem is coming up. I've got a debt that's $16,000. It's a 401k loan.
Uh-huh.
It has to be paid in full.
Uh-huh.
I can't make payments.
Uh-huh.
So I don't. It's been so long since I saved money. I'm just not sure how to save that because the debt behind that is $21,000 on my wife's truck, and I know I can go after that and mash that thing down to zero, and then come back and save for the other one.
I would.
So I'm just motivationally. How do I? Is there a trick?
No, I think you're onto something. I'd probably skip the 401k and roll it on behind it. What other? Is that your only two debts left?
That's it.
Okay, good. So we knock out the truck, then we got to save up and do it, right?
Yeah.
Very good.
Okay.
That's it. Hey.
That's what I'm going to do. Like I say, because I was worried because my behavior has not been saving; it's been spending.
Well, and you got a momentum right now, and I don't want to do anything that trips that up. So knock that truck out. Just knock that truck. How quick you gonna knock that truck out?
Let's see, 21,000, 4 months.
Yeah. And then in 3 months more, you'll have the money saved to knock out the 401.
Yeah.
If you want to be clever about it, David, and I find myself trying to be clever, which always gets me into trouble, but you may go down to just go to your online bank and open up an account and make a payment into it while you're saving that $18,000.
Yeah, when you get to the 401k, just pay yourself payments in a separate account, John's saying.
Gotcha.
And that feels like you're paying it down, right?
Yeah, it's getting higher versus lower, but that's okay. It's going to get to zero sooner or later.
Well, the point is, either way, by September we're done.
Yeah, no doubt. It's gone by then.
And for the first time in your life, you're going to be completely free.
I will be.
I'm so proud of you,
We'll have our mortgage. I'm 64, looking at retirement. We're going to knock the mortgage out next, maybe 3-4 years. Keep going.
So if anybody says, is it too late for me, I'm just going to tell them, look up David in Jefferson, New Jersey, because it ain't too late for him. You're getting it, buddy.
Way.
You're getting it. I love you.
Thank you.
Appreciate the call, man. Well done.
It's awesome.
It is so easy to fall into a trap of I'm stuck and I can't get it. And instead, he's just like up on top of it, whipping it.
That's right. Or I'm too young, or I'm too old, or Man, get after it.
You're not too, whatever it is.
No, right.
Get it. Bust it. Brett is with us. Brett is in Charlotte, North Carolina. Hi, Brett. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave. Hey, John. Thanks for taking my call today. I really appreciate you both.
Sure. How can we help?
So I'm in a unique situation. My wife and I are both 39 years old. We're debt-free with the exception of our mortgage and a small renovation loan that we just finished up here in Hickory, North Carolina, right outside of Charlotte. We did get a 15-year. We renovated an old property with a 15-year and got a very low interest rate. With the exception of owing about $239,000, we have an investment property in the Smoky Mountains and have owned it and self-managed it as a vacation rental for the last 5 years. We're kind of in a unique spot where, given the increase in value properties in the Smokies, we're looking at considering selling it and wanted to get your thoughts. We do have a second child on the way in September. Mm-hmm. We have a toddler now who's 2, about to be 2 here in a few days. And we really want to focus our time on family, and we're afraid that the investment property has turned more into taking away the value of our life in terms of what we want to do with our time, instead of looking at it as a future investment for us in for retirement.
So how much money would you land on the kitchen table if you sold it?
As it sits right now, we bought it a downtime in the Smokies after a fire, which was, a good time for us then. We would probably pocket around about $350 to $375.
Okay. And so a good way to analyze these things is just visualize $350,000 stacked up in the middle of your kitchen table, and you don't own the property in the Smokies. Would you go buy that property?
Probably not.
Okay. Whatever the probably is needs to be discussed. But if you went absolutely not, then that tells you absolutely sell it, right? So it sounds to me like you're probably selling it. So whatever was causing you to say probably, I guess still needs to be considered. But
sure.
What's keeping you from pulling the trigger, man? Is it the idea of being like having multiple properties, or you watched a lot of Property Brothers and you're like, what's the thing?
Yeah, good question, John. And that's part of it, man. I think there's some emotion tied to the property.
Okay.
It was our home for a little while. We actually became debt-free because we were full-time RVers for 3 years. We put our house up for rent in Nashville, which we later sold, and took the net proceeds from that sale. That turned into renovation of this old historic property, basically what happened. But during that time, we were RVing. It was our home base. So anytime we needed to collectively kind of have a long shower, if you will.
As they say, that was then, this is now.
Correct. Yes, sir.
Now you're not an RVer. Now you have a baby. And now you have a mortgage.
Unchain yourself, man.
And cut this thing loose, pay off your mortgage.
Yeah.
And then start saving for your future investments. Maybe what sounds fun. You've done well with real estate. You may want to buy some more. But save up and pay cash for it after your home is paid for. And thank you to the Smokies. It did us well. This is The Ramsey Show. Thank you for joining us, America. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey Personality, is my co-host today. Hey, tickets are going fast for our Building Wealth live tour. Just 4 more stops on the tour, guys. You don't want to miss this. You want to get control of your money. I am going to be live in your city, if you're in one of these 4 cities, along with the team. I'll be next week, February 16th. You can catch me in Indianapolis with Rachel Cruz, George Camel, and Jade Warshaw. The following week, February 23rd, did I say April 16th? It was February 16th next week. February 23rd, I'll be with Ken Coleman, Dr. John Deloney, and Jade Warshaw in Austin, Texas. On April 24th, we'll be in Salt Lake City with Rachel Cruz, George Camel, and Christina Ellis. And our final stop of the tour is Anaheim. I'll be there May 2nd with Ken Coleman, Dr. John Deloney, and Christina Ellis. Tickets are only $49. And you can get a 4-pack of tickets starting at only $175. So hurry. Don't miss your chance to see me and the Ramsey personalities in person. We'll sign books, take pictures, answer questions. We're going to have a blast. You don't want to miss this. Go to RamseySolutions.com/events and get your seats now. These things do sell out early. Austin, Texas, just about gone. And Indy is, there's like 100 tickets left for Indy. So get tickets now if you want to come. We'd love to have you. Zeke is with us. Zeke is in Minneapolis. Hi, Zeke. Welcome to the Ramsey Show. What's up?
Hey, thank you, Dave. How you doing today?
Better than I deserve. How can I help?
Hey, thank you. Me and my wife were going over our expenses last month and got a little upset over how much we were spending. So we decided we're going to knock this last bit of debt out we get with my bonus I'm getting from work. And then we'll be clear on the baby step 3.
Great.
Problem is that right after that happened, found out that I am eventually going to be laid off.
What does eventually mean?
And when they tell me, when I'm being told I will be laid off.
Well, I mean, what do you think? Is this a day, a week, a year?
Could be a couple months. But what I do know is that after that, I will have 60 days of notice in which I'll continue to get paid. And after that 60 days of notice, I'll be getting 14 to 16 weeks of severance pay.
Awesome.
Now,
what do you make?
Oh, thank you, sir. I make just my regular salary is $95.
What do you do?
I'm an analytic consultant.
Oh, great. Awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Okay. So your income's getting ready to go up and you're going to get a new, better job, huh?
That is, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, you weren't looking, but they just told you to.
Yes, sir.
So you need to land a job just in time to get that big severance check.
Indeed. That'd be great.
That's like a signing bonus then, right?
Yeah, it would be for me.
Yeah.
But I figured that in the worst case scenario, and this is not my goal at all, but even at the end of the severance, should be able to if I paid off the debt immediately, still have a 6 months expenses savings after the end of the severance.
You're not going to have the end of the severance. You're going to get a job.
I know. Thank you.
No, I mean, really, there's jobs everywhere. There's more jobs than there. I mean, there's more jobs than there are people looking for jobs. So, I mean, you're in really good shape.
Thank you.
This is the best time to get laid off.
Okay. Thank you for the support.
No, I'm not making this up. I mean, this is not support. I'm glad it's supportive.
If you were screwed, Dave would tell you.
It also happens to be the truth. So, I don't know if you're in Minneapolis at the end of the story or not. What's your wife make? What's she make?
My wife is unemployed. I'm the head house.
Okay, that's cool. All right. Well, you're in a field of analytics, data management, and so on that is hot. Very few companies are going to exist if they don't invest in your area over the coming 5 years. Companies of size, anyway. And so your position is, I mean, it's deeply needed. I got 3 of those type things on the board right here at Ramsey right now. So up for sale right now. We're trying to hire people. So data is just, and analytics are just, if you can't do that in the future world, you're not going to be open. And so you're sitting in a sweet spot, man. And seriously, you might roll into 120 and pocket the severance as your signing bonus. You really might. I want you to start looking, and I want you to use everything Ken Coleman's got. Have you heard of Ken? Have you heard Ken's stuff yet?
So, to be fair, honest, you hired one of my managers a couple of years ago, and he's the greatest guy, and congratulations on you for hiring him. He sent me, I don't know if I can say his name, but anyway, he sent me a link to Ken Coleman's
cool. Who is it?
150
who did we hire? Who are you talking about?
Elliot Chambers.
Oh, God, he's great. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
cool.
So,
yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, so what you get Ken's stuff, get the resume stuff. I'll send you a copy of Paycheck to Purpose, Ken's book. I want you to read that.
Oh, wow.
And so here's the thing. I was just talking with a young guy this morning that in this mentoring session thing I was in, and he was like, okay, how do you get security if you're working contract? And I said, everybody's on contract, baby. Because you ain't got nobody's got security except for your ability to land on your feet when they kick you out. And you got so much ability to land on your feet. That your security comes from your ability, not your stupid company. And that's why you're just in a sweet spot, man. You're rocking. And this is going to turn out so good if you'll plan it just a little bit.
Yeah, and know this: if you're like me, like most men, we put a lot of our self-worth into our job. And when somebody says, "Hey, we don't want you to work for our company anymore," it's a gut punch. Ken and I have looked at some data together where losing your job, somebody calling you in and saying you're fired, responds in your body as though you lost a loved one. So it's like you're not crazy, you're not weak, you're not a wimp, you're not a whiny baby. Like it hurts, man, when somebody calls and says, "Hey, you're fired," and it sets off a terror alarm in our body. It should, and then you get to fall back on the data, like Dave's telling you.
And here's what's worse: they didn't even tell you that. They said, "We're going to tell you that later, but we don't know when."
Yeah, it's like dating somebody, and they're like, "I love you. I'm going to break up with you later." Right? I don't know when.
Yeah, so I mean it's terror. They just hung you out to dry. But hey, at least they dangled the carrot of the severance to get you to stick around a little while.
Opportunity, man.
By the way, if you get a really big signing bonus tomorrow and $120,000, just pack your desk and go. Forget the severance.
Understood. Okay.
Yeah. So start looking. I'll send you a paycheck to Purpose if you can line it up for your start date to be about the time they announce at the new place. And unless there's enough money to leave early, you can get the severance as your signing bonus out the door. That's going to be freaking fun right there. So, yeah, Zeke, you're in good shape. Yeah, go ahead and use your bonus money. Pay off your debt. Pile money for your emergency fund. You got a big old pile for an emergency fund, and you got the severance in the background, and you got Ken Coleman on your team getting you moving, thanks to Elliot. And, man, you got all the stuff. You got all the stuff I know how to do. And so you got your resume template. You've got you're going to start using your proximity principle. People how can you get connected to get your foot in the door on this? And Ken's going to teach you every bit of that, and you're going to land a job in no time. Your only problem might be that you land it too soon, and you have the quandary of whether to stick around long enough to get the severance. And that might be a hard decision, actually. So, but just keep looking, get out there, get moving. Hang on. We'll have the guys pick up and give you a copy of that book and get you moving. Wow.
Congratulations on your freedom, Zeke.
Yeah, one of the very few shows you'll call and someone says, "I'm getting laid off." And we go, "Yes, good. Good. Because you're not being paid enough." This is The Ramsey Show. Dr. John Deloney, Ramsey personality, #1 best-selling author and host of the Dr. John Deloney Show, is my co-host today. Open phones at 888-825-5225. Hey, if you're new to this whole Ramsey process and you hear us using this lingo on here that kind of feels like it's inside baseball, like you have to know all the stuff to be able to do the stuff, it's really not that complicated. But yeah, we kind of have developed our own tribe speak, so to speak. And if you want to know a little bit more, and here's what you can do. You want to dig deeper into the Ramsey baby steps as an example, go to RamseySolutions.com, click on the Get Started button, and we'll help you figure out the next best step for your financial journey based on exactly where you are today. It's completely free. Click Get Started, and we'll walk you through the whole process at RamseySolutions.com. Get started. It doesn't cost a thing, and it'll kind of get you, into the lingo, and you'll get caught up here. Because sometimes listening to this show is like, what are they talking about? Well, I mean, you have to be careful. We overdo that sometimes, but this will at least get you moving in the right direction. Gabriel is with us in Fort Lauderdale. Hi, Gabriel. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hey, Dave. Hey, John. How you doing today?
Better than we deserve. What's up?
So long story short, I'm working my debt snowball. I'm in baby step 2 right now, and I'm returning to a job that I love so much in school security, but unfortunately, I'm expecting a minor pay cut. So my question to you is, how do I effectively budget my money and find a side hustle that pays a decent amount of money for me to be able to kind of survive down here in South Florida.
Why in the world are they cutting the pay of school security officers?
Yeah, I am not sure why. I was working in the charter school segment, which is higher paying, but unfortunately they always drop the contract to give it to an agency for a cheaper amount. So I just went ahead and returned to the public school board in my local county.
Have you thought about just going to the academy? I don't know a police department in the country that's not looking for people.
I did. I applied over the summer when I found out that they dropped my contract, and I was in the process of doing it when a new opportunity with training dogs came around, and I thought it'd be kind of unique and different, so I wanted to explore it. But after about 6 months of doing it, it's not my thing, so I want to return back to public safety.
So can you call back the recruiting officer and get back involved?
Yeah, I absolutely could. It's just that working directly in the schools kind of is something that interests me a little bit more than, being out on the road as a police officer. They're completely different jobs, but
I get that. I mean, I've had school police departments reporting up through me at various universities. What I'm saying is, I get that those are different jobs. I'm trying to figure out, is there a similar enough-ish job that doesn't require you to
make nothing?
To take cuts in pay.
In an economy where people are dying to hire people. I mean, the hiring, people are paying unbelievable money for all kinds of positions out there right now. And so, I don't want you to be as stuck as you feel like you are.
Right.
I think you could find similar gratification if you adjusted 3 clicks to the left or right and moved into something that paid double what you're being paid. I appreciate you want to sacrifice and be there for the kids. That's awesome. But they're making it untenable for you.
Let me paint you this picture. My dad was a police officer growing up, and he mowed lawns on the weekend, and he cleaned the church. He was the janitor for a season. And he would go help another. So that's the life. That's the choice.
Right.
And that's a tough road to hoe, especially with so many jobs out there. And it's in my blood. I love it. I love everything about it. That's my community. It's tough. And I just can't I'm having trouble even wrapping my head around how they would drop the contract right now. It's just madness. It's just madness. In a season when we need to be paying school security officers more to get more people and more qualified applicants, to drop it is madness. But that's where we find ourselves. It is what it is. You got to deal with the reality. I don't know, man.
So, yeah, I think that in that world of serving and protecting, there's a lot of things that fall in that bucket that would scratch the itch that you could either add to this position as an additional thing or make a change in that direction. And either one would help you with your income side of the equation. So
you can work the door at a restaurant or a club at night. My dad used to work concerts on the weekends and in the evenings for extra money, baseball games at local. I mean, all kinds of side hustle jobs here and there if that's what you want to do.
That are security oriented.
That's right.
Yeah. Yeah. Then there's, my guess is there's a ton of that out there. You just get to poke around in that world, get in a couple of those
little circles,
circles of people that line you up on it. Right. John is with us. John is in Concord, New Hampshire. Hi, John. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, Dave and John. How are you guys?
Great, man. What's up?
Well, my wife and I are in baby step 6, and we're kind of late to the game with the life insurance thing, and I've been presented an option where there is a term policy that can convert into whole life as an investment vehicle. And
Why would you want to do
find
that?
Your opinion on that. It was presented to us, and I really don't know a lot about it.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'm sorry. And
okay.
we'll have the house paid off here in the next few years. So if we did a short term and then started converting, is what this person was telling us.
Yeah.
We could use it as an investment vehicle, and they pay dividends to us. And I don't understand that. I just didn't know what your opinion was.
Okay. So this is Northwestern Mutual, New York Life?
New York Life, yes.
Yeah. Okay. Because they're about the only ones selling that crap anymore. It's one of the worst financial products on the planet. Not only is the term insurance that they price to you way too expensive, but then they're trying to convert you into an absolute screw job, which is an investment inside of a life insurance policy. You're much better off just to buy term life insurance, do your investing anywhere except New York Life or Northwestern Mutual. Ugh. Gross.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, horrible. Horrible.
Remember that time you called Dave to ask for his opinion?
Yeah, and he wasn't clear. So now let me back up. Let me back up and tell you the detail. Okay, you want to hear the detail on it? I'll give it to you. Okay, couple things. One is there's two types of life insurance companies. That's how I knew who this was. Okay, there's mutual or stock. Stock companies are owned by the stockholders. Mutual companies are owned by the policyholders. So when you buy a policy with New York Life, you're one of the owners of New York Life. Okay? You with me? The same thing with State Farm. They're a mutual company. Okay? Now, here's the way dividends work in life insurance. Follow me here. You're the owner of the company. So if you own a company and it makes a profit, and they distribute that profit to the owners of the company, that's called a dividend distribution. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So if you opened up a company or you bought stock in Home Depot and Home Depot made a profit, they would distribute that profit. That's called a dividend. All right? So in a mutual company, they are talking about distributing the profits of the company that you own to you. You follow me? That's your dividends. Yes. You with me so far?
I am.
Okay. Now, where do profits come from? The customers buying things that have profit margin. And so you, as a customer, are giving New York Life so much money that they're going to make a profit and give some of it to the owner back to you.
Okay.
This is a dog chasing its tail.
Sounds like a glorified essential oil scheme.
Yeah. And so the IRS has ruled that a life insurance dividend is not taxable income because it is here's the IRS language. It is the refund of a deliberate overcharge. That's the IRS's lingo. Run to XanderInsurance.com. Get you an inexpensive term life insurance policy. Good God, I get dividends. Yeah, it's a refund of a deliberate overcharge. It's kind of like saying, I got a refund from the IRS and I'm making a profit. No, it was your money. You overpaid the IRS. That's why they gave it back to you. It's the exact same thing, and that's not taxable either, by the way. This is The Ramsey Show. Our scripture of the day, Proverbs 14:23. There is profit in hard work, but mere talk leads to poverty. Dr. Samuel Dubois Cook, the first African-American professor at Duke University, said, have a vision of excellence, a dream of success, and work like hell.
It's almost like that conversation we had at the very beginning of the very first hour all came full circle, man.
Yeah, there it is right there. There is profit in hard work, but mere talk leads to poverty.
And sit down and dream. Think about what could be. And then go get it.
I mean,
get after it. It's hard. And it's awful. And it's scrape knuckles. And it's exhausting. And it's tiring. You get hurt. And all.
If you're a young man out there in your 20s and you're single, I want you to work so hard that you will be very attractive to that young lady's father.
Well, that got weird, Dave.
No, I mean, he will think you are a stud and welcome you to date his daughter. That's what I mean.
Gotcha.
I don't mean a physically attractive,
I know. I was just being...
you weirdo. But I'm talking about, seriously. I mean, I was watching a thing, the newscaster, and they're like, 7 million men aged 25 to 54 that are able-bodied won't work. They are not looking for work. And the lady newscaster said, before she even thought, she said, well, that's unattractive.
Wow.
It is unattractive. Makes you ineligible to the opposite
That's
sex.
a common question. How do I get someone to
date
me, to like me?
Work!
Just make yourself the best version of yourself.
Yeah, like be excellent, be getting it.
Yeah.
All right, Neil is with us. Neil's in Minneapolis. Hi, Neil. Welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, thank you. I mean that sincerely.
You got it, man.
For your time.
What's up?
Sure. What's up?
So the scenario that I'm encountering is I'm fully employed. On the side, what I like to do is make sure I kind of give back to my community. So I volunteer with the fire department. So I'm a fire medic. Over the last year, we've had a number of really traumatic scenes in my area with children passing.
Oh.
And so what has happened is I'm carrying that trauma, and I come back home and I have my children, I have 4, who want something, but they want to go to Disneyland. So I'll simply just book that trip, and we went. Because I always have that fear that I'm going to miss it if something does happen with my kids.
Yeah.
And so I guess my question is, and I'm begging for some help here, how do I get past that? I don't know if I can't call it wasteful spending.
No, Neil.
Probably is.
Let me tell you this. I've been there. I ran scenes, and I saw things in homes, and I saw things in the street with kids that will haunt me until I'm no longer on this earth.
Yep.
And then I'd go home. There was 2 nights I know in particular that I went into my son's room and hugged him while he was asleep. Okay? I've been there.
Yep.
There's times that I saw my daughter walk out that next morning with her hair all a wreck, and she's kind of waddling through because she was real young, and I just started crying. Okay? I get it. And you have to know this truth. You got to embed it in your soul. Your kids don't want your stuff. They want you. In these moments,
I feel like this time. I feel like this time together. Like that's what I'm trying to create is that moment.
Yeah,
sorry to interrupt.
Doesn't have to be at Disney.
It's not a moment, brother. You can go sit in a mud puddle in your backyard with your daughter, and y'all let her put a hose over your head, and she'll tell that story at your funeral. What you're doing is you're creating a space between the trauma you saw and experienced secondarily. They call it vicarious trauma. And your own kids. You're trying to create a distance, and you're using Disney as the distance. You're buying a bunch of stuff as the distance. And you can't, man. They're going to feel that gap, brother. They're going to chase that their whole lives. Go sit in the mud with them and say, hey, I love you and I miss you.
Go on a hike. TIME does not cost money.
It's hard.
Yeah.
What you have to be able to do and grasp, which is really challenging for a first responder, is two paradox. I mean, it's a paradox, but 2 opposing sides. You have to hold in your hand something. You get to see a part of the world that nobody else gets to see. This could actually happen. And then you have to also be honest and hold in the other hand, but it probably won't. And that's a tension that a first responder's got to live in. And if you hit the teeter-totter too much on either side, then it causes chaos. So it could happen.
I feel like I'm there.
It could happen, but it's probably not. So I'm going to go, me and my kids, we're going to go fishing. And you know what? We're not going to catch anything, and I'm going to spend all my time uncluttering lines, and then we're going to get chicken nuggets or whatever nonsense. We're going to do time. And I'm going to have to look at them and say, every moment's precious and holy, because it is. And Disney doesn't make that away.
More. I just feel like I don't know if it's a compulsion. I don't know if there's definitely something that's changed psychologically.
It's a trauma response. That's right. And if you want to be an actual brave responder, you need to go talk to somebody. And I understand if you don't trust your system, go call a local therapist in your town.
Man, you guys are going to help me with this.
Hey, Neil, listen, I went crazy.
No, I'm joking.
No. Listen to me. I went mad, and my wife paid the price for it.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Go talk to somebody.
Yeah, it's a post-traumatic stress reaction. They have a name for it, right? I mean, because you're seeing stuff that is acid being thrown into your brain. And it's very brave and courageous to do that. But then your brain starts saying this is going to happen to your kids, and statistically we know it's not.
Right.
And holding that balance and then not reacting. But what you're doing is a perfectly normal response to a horrible situation that your brain is in, right? I mean, you're not crazy. This is just a normal response. As a matter of fact, the fact that you recognized it means you're way ahead of the game.
If you called me and said, hey, I'm not having any problems and all my friends are, I would say, yeah, you need to go talk to somebody now, right? That would tell me you're not functioning right. The fact
it's not normal for human eyes to observe the things you've observed.
That's right.
In the mass that you've had it happen. I mean, most people might see something like you saw once in their life, and you've seen it 3 times last week.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
That's 100%. And can I tell you this, Neil? And this, because of your position and role, it may not be possible. You also have to know when enough is enough.
It's a volunteer position.
I broke the cardinal code. One time I walked into a situation and there was a small child, and I looked at my partner and I said, I'm out. And her name is Patrice. She's amazing. I said, I'm out. And she said, you can't leave me here. And I said, I can't, because I had an 18-month-old daughter at home. And we talked about it later, and I was wrong, and I said I was sorry. And she said, no. I'm with you. That's why they send 2 of us. And so if there's moments when you get a call out and you know, I can't today, have the courage to say I can't today.
I just fear that, I don't know. It's not easy for me to do that. It's not easy for me to reach out. I'm the guy that people call for help.
Yep.
I'm not the guy that goes looking for it. I fear that some of the stuff, I guess some of the, I don't know, these vacations, this financial damage is already kind of done. I got to kind of build out of it, which.
Well, you got to dig out of that, because that was a mistake.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a good reason to make a mistake, a noble reason to make a mistake, but it's still a mistake. That's why you called. You knew it was a mistake. You didn't call up and defend the action. You said it was wrong. It's a wrong response to a horrible situation. Agreed?
Agreed.
And it's not sustainable. You can't keep doing it over and over.
No. What can I do moving forward? I don't know. I know I gotta stop it. I just can't.
Yeah.
You can't. That's right.
That next step.
All right, I'll tell you what, you hang on. We're going to set you up on the Dr. John Deloney Show and let you have a little more time with John, because the top of the hour has run all over the top of us, my brother, and we don't want to leave you hanging. So you hang on. We'll continue the conversation on the Dr. John Deloney Show, and we're going to send you a copy of his book, Own Your Past, Change Your Future, and then I'll get you started as well. That puts this hour of the Ramsey Show in the books. We'll be back with you before you know it. In the meantime, remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.
Hey, it's Dr. John Deloney. If you like what you heard in this episode and want to know more about getting started on the Ramsey baby steps, go to RamseySolutions.com and click on the Get Started button. We'll help you figure out the best next step for you based on your specific situation. That's RamseySolutions.com and click Get Started.